Welcome back, everyone. This is Kylie the Curly Crafter and it is Craftmas Day 4. Today I thought I would just do a simple video on making some homemade pumpkin pie. So if you guys watched some of my videos this November, I actually grew, made, and produced and harvested pumpkins, which I'm going to take today and turn them into a delectable pumpkin pie. So if you guys would like to do that, stay tuned in this video and let's get started. The pumpkins that I grew are some small sugar pumpkins, so I'm going to be using 2 of them today. I think I'm going to get about 2 pumpkin pies out of these 2 items, so let's see how much we can make, and this is what they look like. But before we get baking with our pumpkins, we are going to prepare some things so that we will be ready when the time comes. First things first, we are going to prepare our spices. So today I will be using 4 spices, the first of which I'm going to be using some cinnamon. Next we will be using some ginger root. Up next is some nutmeg. And lastly, a blend of some pumpkin spice. You will need about a teaspoon of each. Thankfully, I had not done a whole lot yet. Needless to say, my camera quit. So after measuring the spices, all we have done so far is cut the pumpkins down the center and then cleaned out the guts and the seeds. After the pumpkins are cleaned, place them face down on a baking sheet lined with parchment paper. Now you will need to preheat your oven to 375 degrees Fahrenheit. Now that the pumpkins and oven is ready, we are going to pop these in and bake them for an hour. While the pumpkins are baking, I'm actually going to prepare the pie crust in this really nice pie dish that I got at Ross for about like $12.99. So I'm just going to use this. We're going to roll out the dough and get it ready for when it's time to make our filling. There's about 12 minutes left on the timer for roasting the pumpkins, and I'm going to start preparing the pie crust. It actually says that it needs to come to room temperature and come out about 15 to 20 minutes before you use it. So I'm going to take this out and let it rest till it gets to room temperature. So this pack comes with 2 pie crusts. I'm going to put one back in the fridge and open the other one and lay it out to get to room temperature. Now you are going to need a bowl and a spoon, and we are going to scrape out the insides of the pumpkin. If you see some like burnt edges, that is perfectly fine. It just adds a little bit of extra flavor. Now I'm going to clean up and then we are going to turn this into puree. After the pumpkins have no skin and your crust reaches room temperature, we are going to tightly and compactly press it into our pie dish. I'm even going to attempt to add a little design in the crust. Now our crust is ready, but I definitely recommend, if you have time, to kind of like make a homemade crust from scratch, and you'd be able to do that while your pumpkins are in the oven. But I didn't have that much time, so I just did a store-bought crust. Now you're going to want to poke several holes in your pie crust. Now you are going to need a food processor. And then pour in all of your pumpkin. And now process until your pumpkin is nice and creamy. Now I'm going to transfer my puree into a bowl. After you have your homemade bowl of pumpkin puree, we are going to start the recipe. In our medium mixing bowl, we are going to add 2 cups of our pumpkin puree. Now we are going to add in 2 eggs. So just kind of mix in your eggs, and then we will switch to a whisk. Now we are going to add in a can of some sweetened condensed milk. Now mix your puree and sweetened condensed milk. Now we are going to add in all of our spices, starting with some salt, then your ginger, some cinnamon, pumpkin pie spice, and last but not least, some nutmeg. Now we are going to pour our pumpkin pie mixture into our pie crust and preheat the oven to 425 degrees. We also don't want to burn our crust, so we are going to go around the edge with some foil. Alexa, set alarm for 15 minutes. Now we are going to remove our pie from the oven. Then preheat the oven to 350. And then pop the pie back into the oven. And then let that continue baking for 40 to 45 more minutes. This recipe was absolutely delicious, and I definitely recommend you guys give it a try. It is perfect for the November and December seasons, even on Christmas, to bake a nice homemade pumpkin pie. And if you like this video, give it a big thumbs up and subscribe down below. See you guys tomorrow, and bye everyone!